want to begin this video just by thanking all of you for being a part of this channel. I love hosting this channel. This is great to be a part of this community that celebrates and explores ethnicity and diversity. And it's just so rewarding to be a part of this. I feel like I'm growing this collection of people who are like-minded, at least for the most part. In this video, I want to discuss the irony, the paradox, that in my attempt to bring us all together, there are some that show up that don't have the same like mind as the rest of us. I have been accused of race baiting in the comments. And I've said many times before, it's possible if you take certain titles of my videos or even things I say out of context, they could seem racist. But look at the motive for the question and realize what I'm really trying to get at. And that is for us to break down these walls that we've got that we feel uncomfortable talking about. So I was accused of race baiting, especially in the titles of my videos. And here's the video itself was called, "Why Are African Americans So Open-Minded to My Vegan Lifestyle?" And the reason it's so fascinating to me, by the way, is if African American women are the ones that are most open-minded to me being a vegan, and I've been a vegan for 4.5 years, I want to tell you the demographic who is the most closed-minded and the most passionately against me being a vegan. Older white men who have onset diabetes and are overweight. Okay? Older men who are white and have onset diabetes. And look at the paradox there. Someone who basically got diabetes by being overweight, by eating too much meat, got diabetes. And if you don't believe that, watch the documentary on Netflix called What the Health. You'll see what I'm talking about. But throughout my life, those are the people who give me the most pushback about being a vegan. Older white men who have onset diabetes and are overweight. But African American women could not be more supportive when they find out that I'm vegan. See, I think that's fascinating, and that's a positive thing to say about African American women. They're open-minded, and they care about their health enough to be open-minded to that. Compare that to older white men who have onset diabetes and are overweight and eat too much meat. Like, you can see, they're the opposite in the way they think. And for the fact that they are of different races and genders, yeah, that may have something to do with it too, but it's really about the mindset. It's all about exploring the mindset. Now, as I've been accused of race baiting, I got one of my subscribers defended me, and my good friend Zoroastrianistic Zoro, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, he came to my defense and said this, quote, "Race baiting, he's doing the exact opposite. He's discussing and confronting other people's racist opinions and views, challenging them. I fully support people speaking openly. In some places, things are so hidden and repressed that it creates a sad, fake, and hateful society." He goes on to talk about how, obviously I'm a daddy blogger. FamilyFriendlyDaddyBlog.com is the blog that this channel was, that I created this for. He goes on to say, talking about my kids, "They'll be proud their father was an intellectual man who challenged the status quo," end quote. Yeah, and thank you for that. I really appreciate your support. And yeah, it is true. I am the kind of person who challenges the status quo. Not only am I not afraid to openly talk about race and help us tear down these walls, I'm also not afraid to stop eating meat, eggs, and dairy and realize, oh, I've no longer got constant sinusitis. I'm no longer allergic to pets. And most importantly, I've no longer got dysidrosis, eczema, in which my hands were red and had pus coming out of them, and I could even barely use a computer keyboard. All that went away after becoming a vegan. Because I challenged the status quo, I said, I can keep going to doctors to get medications that make me feel they might help, or I can try something extreme and different. And that's really what this channel is about. We have a different perspective on things. And those who are like-minded get it, and they support it. But here's what happens. You take that same amount of intelligence and you throw that upon someone who is racist, then I seem like the racist. That's what happens. It's funny too, I've also been accused of having a lower IQ because I am a vegan, which I'm very confused by, that I've got a lower IQ because I found a way to stopped suffering from eczema and sinusitis and pet allergies, and it worked, and I didn't have to use the doctor to do it, and it didn't cost me any money. I actually think that's a pretty intelligent decision on my part. I think that, if anything, at least I'm average IQ. Maybe I'm wrong. Here's the main takeaway from this video though. People who promote peace and togetherness and the opposite of racism, by default, when people who are racist and closed-minded hear those ideas, they're closed-minded to that. And they're going to find a way to continue to support their racist views and their closed-minded views on people who promote that. You know, I'll close by saying this. I remember George Carlin on one of his comedy specials talked about that the people who are most vocal about promoting peace are the ones who always had enemies. Gandhi, John Lennon, Jesus. He talked about like how ironic it was. And even Bob Marley was shot at. He didn't actually end up dying. But all these people, if you promote peace, a lot of people are not okay with that. They don't want to think that people, human beings, are equal with one another. That I, as an American, am worth just as much as some person in Africa that we've never heard of, that is not educated and has a degree in all these things, and they're going to be repressed their whole life. And we're never going to hear from them. Oppressed their whole life, and we're never going to hear from them. I am no greater than any human being. Not because I'm an American or not because I'm special. All people are equal. All people deserve respect and to be treated with love. No matter how they were born or what they believe. I believe in the human race. And I think that bothers certain people because I think certain people don't believe that same way. This channel is here to promote acceptance and love of all people. And I think people who don't feel the same way kind of feel like outsiders on my channel. Am I race baiting, or am I by default baiting racists?